Welcome to Merly Ann's Kitchen. Tonight we are making fried dough. This is an old family favorite that was inherited through my grandmother, so my mom's mom, and my mom always made it for us. My husband's mom always made it for them. So a lot of people have grown up over the years on fried bread. So I did do my one batch loaf recipe this evening, but rather than making a full 650 gram, because I wouldn't have very much dough left. I wanted more than that. So I made a 500 gram loaf and I'm using about 300 for my scones. So this has been rising just a little wee bit and I'm just pushing it with my hand just to get a little of the air out. And my surface was already greased from doing the bread. So now I'm just going to simply roll this out and I'm going to make sure I don't cut myself. And some of you have asked about my Tupperware bowls. I want to tell you tonight I was using a 4.5 liter, and I think it says cups on here somewhere, but I'm not finding the cups. We'll post that later. Now this you don't want to get it too skinny because you want it to rise and you want it to have some substance. So I'm going to stop rolling. We're not going to do a whole bunch. And so, yeah, about a fingernail. My nails are pretty short. They should be painted too. But anyway, so they're going to go like that. And all I'm going to do is just cut these into pieces. And we are going to let this rise for about 10-12 minutes because once I'm done cutting this, and I always make fork holes in this because guaranteed when this starts to cook, you are going to have bubbles. And you're either going to be doing it in the hot oil or right now like this, and it's way safer to fork hole it now versus later. Bink, there's a little one. Okay, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. I already have my piece of plastic ready. Next, say I just use an old bread bag. Cover that, because I wanna keep the nice and moist. I don't want the tops of the dough to dry out. So it's just gonna sit like that. Now we are going to move over to my Wolf induction cooktop, and I have my jug of canola oil, which is what I use for deep frying. And I have a nice Henkel deep saucepan, which I just love the size of it for doing deep frying. And we're going to use approximately it's marked inside how much oil I'm going to add. And I'm going to say about 1.25 liters, because 1.5 is another 1/2 inch up that pan. It's on the other side, the marking. And I don't need that much. I just need enough to make sure the dough isn't going to sit on the bottom of the pan and we don't want it to burn. So I'll turn my oven or my cooktop on. I gotta unlock it because it's childproof. Beep. On, and it goes to high. But I am not going to use high for my oil. I'm going to go down 1 notch and keep an eye on it. I want to bring the oil up. I'm going to use my Mr. Sheffer digital thermometer. And I'm going to get my oil to about 365, 370. You don't want to get it too hot. If you do, you will burn those. So once the oil is up to heat, which is going to be about 10 minutes, we are going to be back here and we'll show you the oil all nicely heated and what the scones are going to look like to eat. And they are so yummy, yum, yum. You are going to want to eat one with me and wish you were in Merly Ann's kitchen. Peace out. Merly Ann's kitchen, welcome. So I have my digital read thermometer and my oil is basically at temp. I said I wanted it around that 365. I actually got it a little bit warm, so I did need to shut it off for a minute, but was okay because my bread wasn't quite ready to rise. So as you look at this now, it's probably about double in size from what it was. And I'm gonna adjust my stove. These inductions are quite, and I'm gonna stretch it now a little bit, which is, you let it rise and then you stretch it, go figure. And some people call these elephant ears, and you could see why wouldn't they look like an elephant if it was me? So anyway, this is gonna go in the pan and these get 1 minute. Trust me. I'm gonna set my timer right now. They don't need very long. And can you hear that oil sizzle, 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 bake, bake? I'm gonna check my oil. because you don't want it to get too low, because if you get the oil too low, your baking absorbs the oil and they become very greasy, very fatty, and that's not nice. So this is 370, and as soon as you put something in, it's going to drop the temp a little wee bit. In this case, the bread is like room temp, so it's not going to affect it very much. And I also had, I turned my oil down by 1 notch from what it was. Ouch, before that even, that was hot. Don't touch these when they're hot. Tip. And like I say, I want to keep a close eye on this because I do not want to wreck these this evening. Yeah, and it's 367, so my oven is going to 374. That's perfect. And I have my tongs ready and paper towel to place them on when they're done. So let's check this. You're going to gently turn it over, and that's okay, don't worry about it. It's going to cook from the other side anyway. And we'll give those another minute. And you can see how much they've increased in size, because remember, that's about what they looked like before I stretched them apart and made them. So you can see how high that dough is and why you want to stretch it, because it is going to increase in size. And we'll do the same with this. See the ends of them, like I say. So here's my other ear. Hello, Mrs. Dumbo. How are you tonight? I love Dumbo, by the way. It's a fabulous show. He's a fabulous elephant. And I love elephants. If you didn't notice, look at my elephant here. He's a really nice guy. This is one of my favoriteest elephants. And I have like, I think about 75 elephants in my kitchen. Not my kitchen, my house. Let me rephrase that. Okay, I'm going to check my oil, because we do have 2 more to cook. And I want to see how much my oil has changed in temp. I don't know if these fast reads are just awesome. Like, yeah, it's around that 375, 378, going up a little bit, so it's just fine. Timer, click, click. Oh, look at that. That is so delicious. And the other side. And you see how this, even though I poked it with fork holes, it still has some little air bubbles? So I'm just going to stretch this a little more. And today I did use all white dough, which flour. As a rule, I use a 50-50 blend. But because we were making fried bread, I thought it would be nice to just have all white. And I turn my heat down just 1 because it is staying right up to temp at that 375, 380, and I don't need it any hotter than that. So it is tricky keeping your oil at the right temperature. These are the best thing you can buy for your kitchen, is a digital thermometer. Like, honest to God, I never had one until a year or 2 years ago. It's like, really? And you can pay like $250 for these if you want. Americans Test Kitchen showed one for $300. They researched it, and I found another one for $29 on Amazon. Here you go, $375. Oh, I didn't put a timer on. Goodness me, I'm going to have to use my eyeballs. Perfect. That oil is just where I want it. And see, I'm going to poke a couple of these little holes with my fork. See, that's got a great big guy in it. Don't, just be very, very careful when you're dealing with hot oil. Make sure you have no children around. This handle should really be turned in. There's only me here, so it's not too dangerous. I'm pretty dangerous. But yeah, make sure there's nothing that a child can grab a hold of, because it's not good. Okay, to me those look like they're almost done, so I'm going to flip them. And then I am going to reset my timer to 1 minute and start over again. So I'm going to mark in my cookbook that on this induction cooktop, once I got my oil to heat, I only needed 4 dots to keep it warm. And induction is just the best. I can go on and on about how much I love induction, and I'll show you a tip someday, but all this little grease, you just take your cloth, you wipe it. It is so easy to clean. It's like, oh my God, why would anybody want a ceramic top or gas? Is beyond me. Plus, I'm kind of dangerous around gas and flames. I could catch on fire, like, honest to God. So induction is the best thing for this old gal. And that's very important. You see people with these fancy sleeves, and I have some of them. Well, I'd be turned around like this, and oh, what the heck? I'm on fire. So we are close to done on these. And you want to make sure they're cooked, because there's nothing worse than raw dough on the inside. So if you're at all concerned, you can always cook them a little longer, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm going to shut my stove off right now.
How do you know when they're done?
Well, I've made these for 40 years, and I know a minute on each side. They're nice and brown, and it's not big fat dough. So minute 30 seconds when your oil's hot like that, like deep frying does not take long to cook anything. So next.
What if somebody doesn't have a thermometer?
Use your eyeballs in about one, well, for your oil, don't put it at high. That's what, and don't let it get smoking. If it's smoking, it's too hot. So try and find yourself maybe an electric fry pan that has a setting of 375 and put your oil in there. And it's tricky, so you might want to invest in this, you know. And I have to take my bread out. It is test time. So I have this lovely little scone here, and I'm just going to cut it with my miniature bread knife. Really good for tomatoes too. And I'm going to show you. See, that's all nicely done inside. And you can shake in a bag your icing sugar if that's the way you want. You can take butter the way my husband likes it. His has to have butter on top of it. For myself, I love dipping it in icing sugar. I'm a bit of a sugar addict when it comes to these guys. And so you can just dip it. You can never have too much icing sugar, trust me. Now my lips are gonna get full of icing sugar, so don't laugh too hard. But I'm gonna test it and make sure it's good. Benny says it's good too. It's really good. I haven't made these for a while because, as you can tell, they're kind of high on the dietary, and they're not low cal, but so I'm gonna dip some more and enjoy. And these are best fresh. Like, you can freeze them, eat them tomorrow, but they should be heated up. They're best like this. So, this is Merle Ann in Merle Ann's kitchen. Peace out. Enjoy your scones.
It tastes like my childhood.
That's a good thing.
I eat that all day. That has no nutrients, so. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. Enjoy supper.